Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got another review. Today we're going to be reviewing this 2016 Ford Fiesta ST. So just looking at this car, the first thing you can notice right off the bat, it's very similar to the Ford Focus ST3 that I reviewed on the channel previously. I'll definitely leave a link to that up in the top of the video right now. But yeah, it's basically kind of like, I don't want to say it's a completely compact design, but one thing that I do like about these cars is the curb weight. It is a lot lighter than some other cars. And basically the curb weight for this car is right under 2,800 pounds, right at 2,742 pounds. Now this specific owner did do some cosmetic mods here and there to this car, but not too much. Basically the big one right down here, you have the like a Mountoon front lip, which definitely I guess gives the car a little bit more aggressive, I guess, styling in the front, as well as on the side here. He did replace the OEM like turn signals that come on the side view mirrors with like this tinted kind of LED strip, like different turn signal. It's actually a completely different light. He did show me before. It's not just kind of, I guess, like a tint. Now another thing that I don't know if you'd call this like a performance mod or an aesthetic mod, but the owner actually put in wheel spacers for this car. Now I know people do have mixed feelings about wheel spacers. I mean, I don't really care about them too much, but basically he has H&R wheel spacers with 10 millimeter spacers in the front and 15 millimeter spacers in the rear. Now one thing that I really do like about this specific Fiesta is the paint color that this owner actually has this car in. Now he said this is actually a factory paint color. It's basically called magnetic gray. And as you guys can see here, there's a lot of metal flake in this paint. It makes it look really cool, in my opinion. Again, when I first saw it, I actually thought it might have been something that the owner kind of did himself. But no, he said this actually came like this. So it is pretty cool. I don't know if the camera is really doing it too much justice, but you can definitely tell, like in the light, there's a lot of metal flake actually in this paint. And basically this paint color, the magnetic gray or whatever, was actually just one of 5 exterior paint options for this specific year. All right guys, so now moving on, I'm going to be briefly talking about the wheel setup that this owner actually has on this Fiesta. So basically the 17-inch alloy wheels are what comes on this car from factory. And again, this is another feature that is very similar to the Focus ST3 that I reviewed on the channel before. Now the one thing that the owner actually doesn't really like is these, like the 4 lug pattern that actually comes on this car from factory. There is aftermarket options for, I guess, this car, like as far as wheels are concerned, but you are a lot more limited than, I guess, like a traditional 5 lug pattern. Being said, this wheel and tire setup is not staggered. It's basically the same in all 4 corners, I guess, of the car. So that being said, these wheels are actually wrapped in Bridgestone Potenzas, and they are 205s by 40s by 17s. Now underneath these wheels, you can see the stock factory brakes that comes with this car. Now these rotors are actually vented from factory. They have vented rotors from factory, and it's nothing too special. Just eyeballing it, it looks like 10 or 11 inch brake rotors with double piston calipers in the front, as well as single piston calipers in the back. Now these calipers are red. The owner actually didn't paint these red. They actually just came from the factory like this. All right guys, so now I have the hood popped on this Fiesta, and underneath the hood you can see the transverse mounted 1.6 liter 4-valve per cylinder double overhead cam turbocharged engine that actually powers this car. Now this car is actually not completely stock. The owner did add some minor modifications here and there. Basically he has a Cobb intake system, a Cobb access port in the connected in the interior, I guess, of the car. He has a MBRP exhaust system, a Boomba sound composer delete, and he actually has a tune. He has a Dizzy Stage 1 tune, as well as a Mishimoto oil catch can and a Cobb rear motor mount. Now that being said, the mods that this owner does have to this car, it's not completely insane, it's not completely built, but it definitely does help, I guess, enhance the drivability of this car a lot more. But yeah, so I'm just going to briefly run through the stock power numbers that this engine actually puts down from factory. So basically this car from factory puts out 202 foot-pounds of torque at 4,200 RPMs and 197 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPMs. Now that being said, those are not very impressive numbers, but these cars do have a lot of tuning potential, and with the mods that he does have on it, the owner actually said, according to Dizzy's website, that the person that he actually got the tune from, he said it should be making close to, like, I guess right around 250 horsepower, like brake horsepower to the crank. I don't know how accurate that is. The owner actually doesn't know how accurate it is. The owner actually think it might be a little bit less, maybe around like 220, 230. But yeah, that being said, I guess definitely let me know down in the comments. I'm not claiming that it's more than what it is, but we don't know for sure because the owner actually has never dynoed it after these mods. So yeah, so basically this engine actually delivers its power through a 6-speed manual transmission, which is actually the only trans offered with this car. And one thing that is very good about, I guess, an inline 4-cylinder engine or just smaller engines in general is the fuel economy numbers. So basically this car's factory fuel economy numbers, and again, I don't know what it's at right now because the owner doesn't really know for sure, but the factory fuel economy numbers for this car is actually 26 miles per gallon during city driving, 32 miles per gallon during highway driving, for a combined average of 29 miles per gallon. So yeah, when you pair that with this car's 12.4 gallon fuel tank, you basically get a range right around 322 city miles and 396 highway miles. So yeah guys, without further ado, I'm just gonna hop in this car and then just take it for a drive and show you guys my initial reactions. Oh yeah, actually. All right guys, so now I'm actually driving this Fiesta, and I don't know if you just heard that, but it pops a lot. And this car it does have catalytic converters. It just has the MBRP, I guess it's Hatchback exhaust system, and obviously the tune. Now speaking about the tune, I have the Cobb access port right here, and it's actually really cool. It shows you the boost pressure, the coolant temp, your air to fuel ratio, and a bunch of other things. And you can actually go in it, change it and stuff. And the owner actually did say that if you wanted to get a Cobb off the shelf tune, that it can run perfectly like with this access port as well. Oh yeah. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, you get a lot of turbo noises and there's a lot of pops in this. Now I haven't really opened this up full throttle yet, but I can tell right off the bat it handles amazing. One thing, I guess, if I was going to be critical about this car is that the interior is a lot less impressive than the Focus that I drove. And mind you, the Focus that I drove, it was an ST3, so it had like the leather Recaro seats. It had just, I guess, a lot more like nicer features in the interior. But if you've seen any of my videos, you know I don't really care about the interior that much. I care more about the drivability of the car. Oh my god. Yeah, that's crazy. It's got a little bit of turbo lag, but for the most part, it's actually pretty torquey, surprisingly. Jesus Christ. All right, now we got a little straightaway right over here. After this turn, I'm gonna lay into it. I'm probably gonna edit that out, but I just went full throttle there and my camera like just flew off the mount. So this thing definitely has a lot of kick to it. Now mind you, it's definitely not by any means the fastest car that I've had on the channel, but it's, again, like, these hatchbacks are very surprising. And me personally, hatchbacks aren't really my thing. They're just, I don't like them a lot, but I can still definitely respect them for what they are. Now that being said, this car actually literally has almost exactly 30,000 miles on it. It has 29,998 miles on it. So we're about to put the 30,000th mile on it right now. But yeah, one thing about this car too is it's actually, again, it front engine, front wheel drive. It handles amazing. It definitely grips through the corners, and it doesn't have enough power to have a lot of torque steer, which is another good thing as well. Now, a lot of people, sometimes you'll hear people rip on these cars, but you have to keep in mind that it's not something like this. It's not designed for like straight line speed. It's not really like a drag car. It's not something like, I guess, like a Corvette or like, I guess, American Muscle, where it's just designed to just go haul ass like in a straight line. This car, as well as some of the other, I guess, hatchbacks in this category, can, I mean, it's definitely quick, but it can also take turns at higher rates of speed. Oh yeah. No, actually, that's actually interesting. I got a little bit of torque steer shifting in the third right there, but besides that, yeah. See, I love driving turbo cars because I like the I like the turbo noises and everything, and especially how this car is with the intake on it. Again, normally cold air intakes don't do a lot, but if you have a turbo car, it opens up the car a lot more. You get a lot more sound from it, and you do get some performance as well. Alright guys, so another thing too, I know I didn't really go over the interior too much. One minor modification that the owner actually did to this car is he does have a, like, this white Cobb shifter. I'll probably put a little clip of it right now in the video. It actually feels really good. It's very comfortable. But again, for the most part, the interior is pretty much stock. And again, this car is only slightly modified. I don't know how well these engines, I guess, and the internals of this engine actually hold up under more boost, but I'm sure the car definitely does have a decent amount more potential in it. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely pretty quick in a straight line too. I mean, again, it's not super torquey. It is, like I said before, it does have a decent amount of torque, but it's not like absolutely insane. Again, this is something that you can have a lot of fun with, and it's definitely like a good, I guess, starter car if you're like getting into the car community, like the car scene or whatever, because again, you can modify this and it can still be pretty reliable to the point where you could just daily drive it. It's not going to be completely undrivable if you start modding this car. Now that being said, guys, that's pretty much just going to wrap up today's video. If you stuck to the end of this video, definitely be sure to leave a like. It actually helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. If I basically do car reviews like this with modified cars as well as completely stock cars. And I also do occasional DIY videos, along with, I actually have a few builds on my channel that I'm trying to, I guess, start right now. And also car show vlogs. So yeah, definitely be sure to, again, leave a like, subscribe down below. And like always, thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.